So, welcome back. Little mean update today after this red ending of the year. In this video, where we talk about AMC and GME, did they found their button or not? Where we talk, does BYND have to fill its gap? We're talking about what is SAVA doing? We're talking about, is Trump media getting now its rebound? And what very interesting and important point FFAI did today. If you're interested, just stay tuned. So, as always, just for the beginning, I'm using this method here. Who is interested how it works, I will put the explanation video at the end of the video, or you just search for the Fractal method in my playlist. Okay, so we will start with the worst candidate today. This would be BYND. It's still bullish, but it's still right now the worst one. Just in short, as always, this whole thing is the first fractal. It ended in October 16 before we had our little run. Since then, we are doing our higher low. With this drop today, I said in the videos before, this thing here could be two things. The first, the bullish version, would mean that our higher low, this one, ended with November 21. And since then, we're just doing the little higher low, the micro higher low to the big one. Well, a higher low is always ending in a V and A. Our A bottom is exactly here. We already went through that a lot. As long as we're not breaking, what is that? 79 cents, this is still working. Yeah. In that way, we could see a little bit more downside tomorrow. Yeah. But to say that absolutely clearly now, if you are touching, to make that absolutely exact, yeah, if you're touching tomorrow 80 cents or breaking it, then this is not a little higher low. This would be then T, and this whole thing is still higher low. Yeah. So for the bullish version, you might fall tomorrow a little bit more. I mean, how much percentage would it be? That would be 2.2%. But if you not bounce here, this version is dead. Yeah. What is the alternative? Well, the alternative would mean we have one last gap. This gap goes from 88 cents to 66 cents. If you're breaking this line here, or touching it, because there is no double bottom, you will very quick knife down here. In that case, I don't think you will bounce here, here, or here. No, you will fill this gap. And then, in my opinion, in the moment you are reaching 66 cents, you may be doing a micro higher low, but all in all, you really should start your run here. Yeah. Your next target, doesn't matter if you're bouncing here or here, is your A. And in that case, here, in that case, you won't fall under this trend line again, but you will make a breakout retest. How would that look? So it doesn't matter where we are. So, okay, let's say we're bouncing at 66 cents. Then most likely your A is at 16 or a little bit higher, could also be. You will run up there. Maybe this, maybe this. This would be then your A. And you will do a break or retest. Yeah? After that, if you're bouncing at a 0.5, and depends also how quick you're doing it, you will bounce again, and your B will be at 43. Yeah? And then also pull back. And the only question is then, are you breaking all-time highs or not? Just little warning, as always. If you're breaking under 59 cents, I will still track it, but I would be out. Because this is already dangerous. Here, I could easily say the discussion of reverse split will come, or it's just dying and delisting. Just saying. Okay. Next one is FFAI. Just for the short repeat again, for people who didn't watch my earlier videos. From the IPO till April 2025, this was one fractal, big one. Since then, we're doing our higher low. If this is finished, and if we are not going dead, our next big target for A would be 153, and for B, 5,000. As I'm always saying, you won't come up here without a split. If you're not doing a split, most likely you will come up here, reject, and die. But who cares? $153. Who cares? What I have, and the same thing, if this higher low is finished, I don't think we will see something A, pullback B, pullback C, just because FFAI is always doing V, higher low, run. V, higher low, run. I don't think this will be a long slow moving run. This will be just upside. So what have we done? Because I said, what stupid and very important part we did we have done in FFAI. Well, since April 2025 till November 17, 2025, this was our big high low. And it finished in a perfect BYND. Since then, we are doing a tiny small high low. Sometimes this happens if you are doing the big macro high low. After that comes a tiny high low. But most of the time, I will also show that on DJT, after the micro high low, which is coming after the macro high low, the run is starting, or some news suddenly comes. Yeah? So today, we have here our V after the macro high low, our high low, our A bottom, B, C, lower high, midpoint, last time to sell before you get your V. And today, we made our V under A. This was our V under A. So tomorrow is Friday, okay. If the market is still red, which I could see a little bit in SPY still, you could still fall a little bit. Yeah, you're not allowed to break 94 cents. But then this is a V&A and it's finished. So, two possibilities. Because my time frame is January 12th to February 19. If we still need to fall, but it's still bullish, we're doing bullshit sideways, going little lower. I'm talking about 0.5% a day. till January 12th. And then you see a massive run. Yeah. So something like boom. Okay. Wherever, how high it goes. And February 19 would be already the pullback of whatever peak we get. The other alternative would be we start running tomorrow, next week, Monday. I would more say next week, Monday. And whatever peak we get that peak on January 12th. Somewhere here, you get your peak on January 12th already. And also, pullback is February 19. Yeah. The only alternative I have for this, it's over. You don't stop falling. You break under 87 cents. Then it's the same like DJT, like BYND. I will still track it, but in that case, this stock is getting very uninterested. Reverse split, delisting, whatever. Not thinking that it will happen, but always have a note. Okay. Next one. DJT. Also here, just in short, this whole thing is one fractal. Since IPO till November 2025. And here you see perfectly what I said before. After your V, you did a micro high low. Let's look on the 1 hour time frame. Yeah. After the micro high low, you did a even more microsecond high low. Both ended in a V&A. And in the second one was finished. We got merger news. That's why I said that FFAI is so interesting right now. So, what did we do since then? Well, the thing for DJT, I showed on FFAI a big higher low. And if you look at DJT, you have here, you see your all-time high. This whole thing is lower peak. This whole thing is midpoint. And this whole thing is your last time to sell your T. It makes no sense that this higher low, this tiny little fucker, is enough for all this. So there is a chance you just run, yeah, to your all-time highs, whatever. I would more say we now need a bigger higher low, which is comparable to all this. How would that look like? Well, in the best case, we already did our A. Yeah? Higher low. After the higher low comes our A. Then we get our B, pullback, C, lower high, midpoint, T. And in the best case, what we did today was our V&A landmark. Yeah. So after this higher low, I'm not saying it will take that long, just so I can show what I mean. After that, you have to fall under 1251, which would mean 1250 would be already enough. And then you start the real run. Yeah. What do I mean? What do I mean with real run? Well, the real run would mean after your V&A, you're going to 57, 60-ish for your A. After the A pullback, you go to 80. And then the only question is, are you breaking all-time highs or not? Why do I think that this was already A with A pullback? Well, you're taking your all-time low, 0.5 to your A, and you're looking for the 0.5. We fall under it, and we bounced. So in the best case, we're going up from here. Yeah. And the same for your B then. Yeah. So if here is your B, you just take from the bottom of A to your B, and it's also the 0.5. Then you see, and what I showed before. Still looks absolutely bullish. Perfect. Okay. Next one, SAVA. Again, not the full story. If you want to know that, just watch the weekly recap video. In short, we are tracking and looking for this gap up, because this company is always doing the gap down, bullshit, gap up. And for SAVA also, we already did our V, high, low, A, B, C, lower, high, midpoint T, gap down to our V and A. And since then, we are doing our high, low. So, today, or was it already yesterday? No, it was already yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday, we did our V and A. Here's our A bottom. We fall under it. So, tomorrow is Friday. No, tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow is free. Or today, whenever you show it. On Friday, you would have the first chance in pre-market to gap. If not, my time frame is January 9th, which is next week, to January 20. So, same like FFAI, you could still fall into January 9th. Yeah? The only thing is, you're not allowed to break 175. I will show that after that. That would be the order. But if you're not falling under it and just fall till January 9th, well, then January 20 is your peak target. And with peak target, I mean at least $25. Something like this. If we are not falling into it, well, then January 9th is already your peak. And you should start tomorrow or the latest Monday. And January 20 is already your pullback. The only alternative I have means if you're still falling and you break 175, you most likely will really, really fall knife and you will make new lows. In that case, you would be here. You will look for a new all-time low. Then you're doing this section here, most likely till June. And then in June, you have the next chance to do the gap fill. It will really take time then. Let's see. Not thinking that yet, but if you break 175, yeah, that's bad. Huh? So let's see what we will do. Okay. Now to the favorite of everyone, AMC. In short, because I already saw that today, there are a lot of other people who will say you will get your bottom this Friday because SPY will massively run next week, which I really could see. I will say that in GME. For the short recap, I'm looking for a two-part squeeze just because in 2020 we did the same and we are repeating 2020. My targets are 150 to 100 for our first part, just because we will break this trend line and not falling under it again. So wherever our bottom here is, we're taking the 0.5 And then it should be January here. And it will be the 0.5 or the 0.618 where we pull back. Yeah. Why? Well, we did the same shit in 2021. Yeah. Up, down, 0.618. So, and then we're doing this bullshit. Is it dum-de-dum? And then we go to our all-time high. Sorry. Funny thing, my price target for this is something in this range. Just because AMC is doing this microphone pattern. So, is the pullback already finished? And there comes the problem. I mean, my price target was 160. Why? Because of this trend line, which worked for 6 years. Yeah. In 2019 till 2020, well, it was resistance. In 2020, 2021, it was breakout retest. In 2024, it was resistance and support. Then in the May run, it was again breakout retest. And in 2025, it was the last time you touched it before you did your little May run. So, I mean, okay, I could adjust it a little bit, but we already broke it. Because if I'm pulling it a little bit under, then it's just putting it under, so to say, it bounced on my trend line. So I will let it like it was, and we broke it. So breaking it is not that bad, as long as we're not really knifing here. So the thing is, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you shouldn't buy in here anyway. Just saying, only my personal opinion, because we won't squeeze from the V. I know a lot of people are saying that whenever the V is done, we just go. In my opinion, no. Why? Because we never did that. Never. We didn't do that in 2025. We didn't do that in 2024. We didn't do that in 2021. Never. Why should we start now? And again, and no other stock is doing that either. No one. Not BYND, not DJT, not GameStop, not SAVA. No one. No one is doing that. So buying now is just buying into a falling knife. So let's say this today or tomorrow was our V. What happens next? We will do a higher low. And most likely a higher low which takes 26 to 28 days. Or at least 9. Okay. In 2021, it was 9 days. From the V to the higher low, 9 days. In 2024, it was 24 days. And in 2025, without the channel, it was 26 days. So I'm always saying this will take now 26 days. If this today was the bottom, it will take 28 days. This is January 28, which is a Wednesday. So in that case, most likely your bottom will be January 30. And then in February 2nd, you have your one. Yeah? If we're saying it will only take 26 days, it will be Monday 26. Yeah? Or if it was only 9 days, well, next week, Friday, to finish the higher low. But all in all, it doesn't matter how long it takes. You're just tracking the higher low, A, B, C, lower high, midpoint T. And in the second, we're doing then the V&A, wherever it is, whenever it is. This is your buying target, in my opinion. You can do whatever you want. Price targets. As I already said, 160 was mine. 155 is still working. I would get worried if we fall under 144, 134, because I don't want to come near this trend line too close. Because if you look in 2021, you touched this one time. The next one came lower because it was our all-time low back then, but we didn't came near the yellow trend line. And what I mean with yellow trend line, this yellow trend line. We already touched it in 2024, so I really don't want to come so close to it. Yeah, 130, okay. But 125 really touch it? Don't like it. Yeah. So let's see. Next one, GME. And that's why I started, because some people or predictors are saying, yeah, now they are saying, this year wasn't your higher low. Now they are saying we can go under it. Now, after I was saying that over weeks and months, now suddenly, yeah, we go down. But the next problem is, now they are telling you we will do that on Friday. This Friday will be the bottom. And of course, we squeeze from the V, but we won't go lower than, because SPY will run next week. You all know my price target is 70.45. Yeah. But I'm also okay with, let's say, 18.50. But to say that, I mean, could be possible. I mean, if we knife on Friday 6, 10%, or even 12% for GME, okay, fine. I'm then absolutely on your side and say, this was the bottom. It reached my price levels. Perfect. I just don't think that. I don't think this will be the end. I still think this will take at least one more week. Yeah, just saying. If we on Friday, okay, if we fall on Friday 2%, I bet with you, you will hear, this was our V. We fall under it, buy. Do what you want. I tell you, this isn't enough. Yeah? And even if, okay, even if also GME has to do a higher low. Yeah? This is only T. You still have to do a higher low. And also GME has to wait for its V under A. And then you go. There's no way around the higher low. Yeah? So even if you're not getting this bottom and you miss it and it's doing its higher low, you still have this here. And this higher low can still take at least 2, 3, 4 weeks. Wait for the higher low. So in short, the tracking. So all in all, yeah, my price target is 70.55 for the bottom for GME. I'm also fine with 18. Okay. Overall, since IPO, look at that on the weekly, since IPO till March 2020, this was just A. March 2020 till April 2024, this was our B. And since then, we're just doing the little higher low of B. I already said where I want it to end. Whenever this end is finished, you're going to your C, which is also my price target, is this trend line. Yeah. So something, if it's January or February, something in this range here. Yeah. You can go a little bit over it, like we did in 2007, but not much. Yeah. So for me, your round here will go to 5,000. Yeah. Just only because I tracking me through. Yeah. It makes no sense to go up there. No sense. For me at least. Yeah. So my price target is this area here. And after that, yeah, nobody's interested in that. Only alternative, and I say that for AMC too. The alternative for GME, because nobody is telling you that. There is one alternative. Nobody wants to talk about. I'm also not believing it, but there's still the alternative. If you're not stopping with downside, why ever? Especially if we break $10. I tell you, since March 2020 till today, this is just A. And for this, your 0.5 is $8. Yeah. Just saying. I really have to make this completely new. So you would come lower than 990 because only then your M is finished. You would come up again. Most likely you will hit this trend line, but you reject. This would be your T. And then you will fall to your 0.5. Yeah, which is at $8. This will take at least the whole year of 2026. Just saying. And then you're doing your higher low, and then you go. Yeah. Not thinking that, but always have an old. Also, in that case, AMC is dead. Because AMC won't survive this shit. Yeah. Just saying. Okay, I think that was everything. So, I wish everyone a happy new year. Memes, all of them. Also AMC and GME looks fantastic for a run in 2026, early 2026. So, let's put this bearish version away. Look for the bullish one. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have questions or wishes for other stocks I should track, post it in the commentary. I will put the explanation video here. I will put the playlist if you want to watch the other videos and backtrack me here. And if you want to follow me, here's the abo button. Let's see what we get on Friday.